Hey, this is Bomhab. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. It's going to be episode 2 of our Let's Play Banner Saga series. When we left off, we just killed some skull things, both at the Great Hall here, as well as a mead house. But then some travelers on boats came by, so we've been asked to go and stall them for a little while they clean up all the dead bodies. So let's go see what they're up to. Wagner. A familiar Varl steps onto the docks. In your mind, you recall a much younger version trampling the halls of Gorfheim, abundant in purpose. Gods, Uben, you're looking ancient! Comes with being old, and if there is Wagner, there must be Hakon. Must there? Still bleeding tributes from their poor and stupid old yaks. At what age do you lose a sense of shame? Jorunder demands it. I'll take that overlingering to death in Gorfheim. Speaking of, I had no sense that you were so far from home. Sorry, yeah, he's a giant. He's got his nice little horns going on there. Just returned from our Berang, in fact. And glad of it. Hakon motions to the other ships in the bay, sails still fluttering. Golden wolf head emblazoned on red. The king of men, or someone on his behalf. The king's whelp. The king's son, Ludden. Don't you know, Scrivener? We visit his capital, he visits ours. It's how you make alliances these days. It's a miserable waste of time. Yes, Hakon, has it. I'd almost forgotten. It's a good thing you're around, Hakon. Then you're going to Grofheim? Sad face. I have the distinct feeling I finished my business in Strand and was heading there myself. We should caravan. We should. Give it a day. In better circumstances, I'd drink a week away, but let's just be done. Find me tomorrow at the gates. What he's trying to say is the prince is a delight to behold. Where is Moger? Hakon, have him find a place to put the warriors. I'm heading up to meet the governor. A host of giants depart in his wake. You recognize a few. Others are strangers to you. Guess I'm off to go find Moger. See you in the morning, Scrivener. I'll be along. The young prince of men ambles from his ship. He brushes off his tunic, scanning the beach with low eyelids. Ludden looks for all the world the sort of boy who grew up pulling the legs from spiders. The long road back to Gorfheim should be more interesting than most years, you think. Oh boy. Oh boy. Now what? Weariness suddenly settles in, and you chuckle to yourself about what an odd day it has been. One of the governor's men at the Great Hall could find you a place to sleep. On the other hand, if you're going to join Wagner's caravan tomorrow, it might not hurt to share a drink with Hakon, or introduce yourself to the prince they spoke so highly of. Let's chat with Hakon. Scrivener! You find Hakon in a mead house surrounded by other Varl. Strand is no stranger to Varl, but rarely sees this many. Hakon waves you over. Went straight for a flagon. Wagner's the one who agreed to pass up a drink. I wasn't invited to the governor's hall anyway. You already missed the massacre. Every year I make the rounds collecting taxes. Every year it's the human settlements that give me trouble. Oh, sorry, wrong voice. Every year I make the rounds collecting taxes. Every year it's the human settlements that give me trouble. No surprise. What this time?
When I got here, the Great Hall was already full of bodies. We added a few more.
Ha! Humans. I guess if only I lived as long as a Yak's fart, I might be desperate to make something of myself too.
It's not too late to start trying hacking.
Hakon lets a slip of a low chuckle. Any Varl would recount his deeds, known as he is for cutting a swath through Dredge at Yognir's side in the Second War, and regularly since then. Down here, I'm a glorified bodyguard. You might have a point. Just another reason to get back to Gorfheim.
Soon enough, I imagine.
You drink until the mead house becomes overbearing, and step back to the cool air outside. Now I gotta go talk to Princey Pooh? Ooh, I can go to the Great Hall. Great Hall or Princey Pooh? Let's talk to Princey Pooh.
Is this the right place?
How drunk is he, just wandering around? You find the prince at an inn. Guards blanket the building, including a sharp-eyed Varl who must be working for Ludin. A woman in red eventually waves you over and stands nearby, arms crossed.
Greetings, Prince Ludin.
Yes, you are with Wagner? I don't remember you.
Not exactly. I've known Wagner a long time. I'll be joining you back to Gorfheim with my guards.
Ludin looks up for the first time. The woman doesn't react. Why?
I work for the king, carrying tithes to the capital. We crossed by chance.
Oh, a tax collector. Fine company. What do you want? I don't really care for him. I shouldn't have come here to talk. Let's go the longest. A Val historian. Don't you already know? Your king and mine both have been practically trumpeting it throughout the cities.
I've been on the road a while, I'm afraid.
Ludin takes a deep sigh. Whether tired or ungracious, you aren't certain. Maybe both. A formality, mostly. Wagner come to our capital in Aberrang, and now we go to the Varl's capital in Gorfheim to cement this grand alliance for the next age of men and Varl. That was the other guy's voice. Whatever.
You sound unconvinced.
There's no need for it, and it's damned cold up here. You get the sense he's struggling not to complain outright. You take the opportunity to excuse yourself. Phew. Enough talking to that jagoff. Alright. Looks like we're going to the Great Hall. Yep, okay. At dawn, we're awoken by a delivery of goods. At least, I think it's dawn. Damn hard to tell with the sun that never moves. The governor's crest adorns the supply leathers. All there, just as promised. To my mild surprise. You wonder if Eric had anything to do with that. Plus 20 renown. Look at all that renown. Swimming in it. Your guards take the treasure wagon down to the gates. Wagner is already there. A while later, Ludin and his men appear, groggy and disheveled. Moger steps forward, Wagner's quartermaster, if you recall correctly, in charge of his unwieldy entourage of warriors. You know him only in passing. Yes, if you're ready to depart. I don't think I have another option. You follow Moger and join the others. Usually the smaller doors set into the gates would be enough to enter or leave the city, but the town guards have been told to push them open entirely. They mutter things under their breath, that are best not heard. Perhaps the governor expected you to draw a crowd, but there's nothing of the sort. Just frustrated, tired people. It summarizes Strand as a whole, you think? Alright. Traveling. Yeah, mules. Yeah, mush. Mush. Day 2. Mush. Mush. 85 fighters. 366 Varl. It's a lot of giants. Caravan stops for a day. A gift, says Moger, cracking open mead casks from our gracious friend, the governor of Strand. Hours pass with raucous laughter as the mead is passed throughout the camp. We're old people, so we don't really drink a lot. We'll drink a little. You go easy. You've nothing against a good drink, but if anyone is going to keep an eye on things, it may as well be you. The revelers eventually fall asleep without incident. You rise groggily, the campsite a casualty of merriment. Moger is already kicking warriors awake when you spot Ludin stalking your direction. He sidesteps sleeping bodies. Better wake up, you nudge Wagner. You're needed. Ah, Ludin! Always a pleasure. You look well rested. Wagner releases a caged yawn and receives a hard-eyed stare in return. How long to Gorfheim? Yeah. Ha-ha! We're only 2 days out of Strand, you know. Come, I'll show you on a map. Oh, a map. Alright, click and drag the map to look around. Portrait icon shows where the caravan is in the world. We can also click any location to get some history about it. When we're done with the map, click X at the bottom of the screen. This X, okay. Scrolling does nothing. Oh, what do we got around here? We got a lot of territory to cover. Okay. And where are we going? We're going to... not Aberrang. We're going to Heimtown. Ah, Gorfheim. Last home of the Varl, the seat of their power, founded by Arfinfner, the second Varl king. Though the Varl have moved around a lot, most consider Gorfheim their capital. The deeds of Varl are honored here, and all warriors of worth are buried at the foot of the two spears, where they're said to become part of the Varl's March itself. Okay. So, we left the Strand, moved here. We'll probably take the Wandering Road. At the end of the First Great War, the Varl had more to contend with than mankind to the south. Above the Brattlebreck peaks, the lands crawled with furious, war-minded dredge. The first Varl king, Einar, led the entire Varl race across the snowy fields of the Wandering Road, sweeping away dredge as they went, before forming the first Varl kingdom known as Einartoft. I think that'll get us most of the way. We'll go around King's Varl, then two spears. An unusual gap in the Varl's March Mountains looked like two great spears at a gate. For decades, it became a bloody corridor between the Varl forces and the dredge to the north, until the second Varl king, Arfinfr, endeavored to build a sprawling fortress here, which would eventually become Gorfheim, the Varl capital. King's Barrow. Not within stone crypts, but in the fields before Gorfheim are laid to rest the greatest warriors and kings of the Varl, where all who come and go from the great city may see them. All Varl consider it an honor and a duty, to one day be buried in the graves of the King's Barrow, where their bodies become the stone of the Varl's March. And we're going around, what is this? Breck Peaks. When the first Varl warriors trudged north to discover new lands, the Brattlebreck Peaks were thought to be the edge of the world. Their summits often disappear into the clouds, and unlike other mountain ranges, a pass through was never found. That is until the Varl King Einar and the Burra Pass built a bridge that takes 3 days to cross. That's a big bridge. So this is the Burra Pass. At Einartoft, the first Varl king found himself unable to push further into the north, cut off by a vast gorge at the crook of the Wormscale Mountains. He had built a bridge of such massive construction that it takes nearly 3 days to cross on foot. As the legend goes, the Varl only managed to build it by filling the gorge with the bodies of dredge and working atop them. Bad ass. Or maybe we'll go up this road. I doubt it, though. What's this? Vetterfell. Named bad weather, the gales that blow in from the bay and around the mountain peaks keep Vetterfell a generally unpleasant state. What really cemented the name was the kind of person who would live there. Men cast from Strand for no reason or another, and nowhere else to go. For one reason or another. Okay, good enough. Cool looking map. And what's this whole area called? Hraun. The long snowfields, tall mountains, and sparse woods of Hraun used to be the gathering place of dredge during the Second Great War. As Varl pushed them ever northward, they took the land and settled it themselves, preferring the cold expanse over the warm, busier lands of men to the south. Now the territory is almost entirely Varl. Alright. We head north, then east, past the forts. Gorfheim's far from Strand. Going to be a long march. You should have drank last night, Ludden. Why not take the ships to Skermistede? What's the point in marching?
The Silverstone Bay is called that for a reason. It stays covered in ice all year. It would tear up the longships. You dummy.
Too bad, though. We could have shown you all the wonders of Skarmir instead. A half-sunken city crawling with dredge, Prince. Dredge and glaciers. You like glaciers? Ludden exhales through the nose, a poor disguise for his contempt. He turns and bats aside the tent flaps as he goes, barking at his company in the distance.
Don't poke the anthill, Wagner. He seems no happier to be here than you.
Spend a few more days with the boy, old friend. You'll be looking for a tall cliff to hop off too. Oh, shoot, I missed it. Thanks, Wagner. Let's get moving. Another day and a half to Vetterfell if we're lucky. I bet there's a fight brewing at Vetterhill. Camp. Okay, camp is where we manage our caravan. During travel, we can enter camp at any time by clicking the camp button on the travel HUD. While at camp or in towns, you can upgrade our allies or equip items in the hero's tent. Okay, we can pass time by using the rest tent. Resting will improve the caravan's morale. High morale will reduce casualties in war and affect our willpower in combat. Each passing day will use supplies, so only rest when necessary. The training tent will allow us to safely try out any characters in a mock battle. Click leave at the bottom of the campsite when we're ready to go back to the road. Okay, hero's tent. Heroes, click on a unit to view status, promote ranks, and learn about new abilities. Click on the ability button to learn we have the unit's abilities. Sundering Impact. Warmaster hits an even harder than an average warrior with no chance to miss. You can wreak havoc with an additional +1 strength, +1 break, damage to the target, plus bonuses to heavy impact. Sundering Impact is best used when carefully positioned to impact as many enemies around the target as possible in a single strike. Okie dokie. Oh. Where he hits so hard that any enemies standing adjacent to his target on a strength attack take 1 strength damage from the shockwave. Hitting a large target like a Varl or Dredge takes up 4 tiles, can potentially cause an impact across many more victims than hitting a single square target, such as a human. Okie dokie. Oh, let's promote this dude. Alright, Gunnulf. You old Warhawk. So he has Tempest. Rank 1, it hits 2. 2 hits 3, 3 hits 4. You also have Heavy Impact. None of those do anything. What's this? When Ubin became Varl King's tax collector, he was given an entourage of bodyguards to help transport the gold. Gunnulf is the only one from the original group still alive, and for good reason. 3 kills. Let's promote you. Greatest warriors of the battlefield are those who lived past their first battles and started journeying down the path to legend. Okay, so we build higher stats, we increase our item rank. Both, okay. Yes. So rank 2 Warhawk. 2 points available. No! No, no, no. I don't know what those do. Here we go. Alright. Renown is gained from defeating enemies. Abilities, unique power that the class wields. Armor blocks damage. Strength does damage and heals. Willpower, you know, exertion. Okay, exertion is the amount of willpower you can use on any given action. Okay. Break is the amount of direct damage you can naturally do to an enemy's armor. Okay, so this builds the break, this builds the strength. Left click to add, lore, we did that. Kills needed to promote to the next rank. Oh, 2 more kills and we can move him up out of a Warhawk. Okay. And max stats. Oh, what's this? What's in your belly? It just looks so goofy. Alright. So. Oh, you're so strong. Let's give you... I want to add a point to you. Won't let me. So let's see. Well, I guess we'll give you 1. We'll give you 1. What was that one again? Exertion is the amount of willpower you can use on any given action. Okay. Yeah. Looks good. Alright. Ludin is a Spearmaster. What do you get? Impale. Spearman skewers his enemy, doing normal strength damage before kicking them away, doing knockback and causing them to bleed if they move on their next turn. The character who is bleeding will take 1 strength damage for each space they move, which can be especially deadly for enemies that are moved against their will. Very true. Embolden. Each kill the Spearman makes encourages his allies to fight harder, granting 1 willpower to the Spearman at any adjacent tiles. Ludin is the Prince of Men, the next in line to become king of most of the continent. He is not well liked amongst either peers or rivals, mostly due to his high-born attitude. However, not many will claim that he isn't smart, a well-trained fighter, or lacking courage. He currently finds himself, somewhat against his will, on a visit to the Varl capital, in what his father hopes becomes a new era of rule by lineage. Okay. Good, good. Get you some kills. Hakon is another War Master. He's got the same Tempest's or Sundering Impact. Oh, we actually looked at him earlier. And Mogr, Shield Master. Okay, Shield Master strikes adjacent enemy for armor damage before hunkering down and boosting his passive ability. Return the favor to return even more armor damage for 1 turn. By using Bring to Pain, Shield Master can create a forward charge that punishes enemies and ganging up against it. Return the Favor. A character who attacks the Shield Banger loses 1 point of armor for each strike he makes. Return the Favor triggers every time the Shield Banger takes damage from an adjacent enemy, which can make it devastating to hit him with attacks that strike multiple times. Alright, Mogr. Mogr's an old hand in Varl culture, long on the front line of the fight against the Dredge. He's had the occasional brush with a leading clan of his own, but eventually settled well into commanding. Wagner's personal army of Varl warriors is highly respected amongst them. Alright. Those are our 4. Good. So that's our roster. There's the rank. There we go. That's rest, that's training. That's that. And map. Okay. Well, this is gonna be it for this episode. And the next, we'll work our way into I believe we're gonna be moving north a little bit here. Load up the map. Yeah, we're gonna hit Vetterfell, and then it sounds like we'll be going this way as opposed to across the Wandering Road. But you know what? I'm not leading this charge, so we're gonna go wherever they take us. So yeah, join us next time and we'll continue with the Banner Saga. Bye-bye.